Hey there guys, welcome to the meat shop. Thanks for clicking on. This video is part of a special video series inspired by you guys. I've been asked before for a recipe or sausage book, which I don't have, so I thought I would share my favorite book with you, which is Home Production of Quality Meats and Sausage by Stanley and Adam Marinsky. It is my favorite book. I think it's got great information in there for beginners and experts alike. And to celebrate my favorite book, I reached out to Stanley Marinsky and he gave me permission to do Marinsky March. So we're going to do a recipe out of this book every day of March. And all the recipes and all the processes are right out of the book, which will be in the link below. That is, a link to the book will be in the description down below. So without any further ado, let's get into Marinsky March. Hey there guys, welcome to Marinsky March. I'm excited to do this one today because I've had a couple requests to make a liver sausage before. So I'm going to share the process of making the liver pate sausage from page 317 in Home Production of Quality Meats and Sausage with you guys. The little write-up on it says, liver pate sausage is a quality liver sausage. Most good liver sausages will contain pork liver. Some recipes ask for veal liver, which is a great choice, though expensive. Beef liver is tougher and makes sausages darker. After the meats are emulsified or ground through a fine plate a few times, the products can be spreadable like a pate. And that's what we're going to shoot for in this sausage today. So I got the little bit of pork that's going to go into the sausage here. We got some lean pork, we got some fatty pork trim, we got some straight pork back fat. And this guy here is a little pork liver out of a guy we killed a little while ago. And step number one, cut the back fat into 1/4-inch pieces. I can do that. Step number two, soak liver in cold running water for an hour, remove sinews, cut into slices, and then we're gonna poach it for 8 to 10 minutes. So I'm gonna open them up, let some cold water run through this tote for an hour as I get everything else ready. And the reason we do that, it doesn't say in the book, but it's going to flush out some of that stronger irony taste, any blood and stuff like that. It also makes it easier to pull that skin off the liver after it's been run under water for a little bit. So let's run our pork liver through some cool water. Cool, always. Cold, cold, cold. Okay, here's our lovely pork liver here, guys. Just going to let this fill up. And then just trickle some water over it. It'll soak for an hour. Okay guys, so the livers are just behind the camera there. They got them soaking a little bit ago. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of everything prepared so when the liver's done, we're all ready to go all at once. So in the book here, it says it's gonna be kind of a two-textured sausage. There's gonna be an emulsification, and then we're gonna have these little bits of back fat that really pop out. So I'm doing a 2 kilogram batch, which is 4.4 pounds. And so that means I need 100 grams of back fat, which I got here, perfect. So I'm just gonna cut them up into little chunks. Then I got a pot of water on the go over here. I'm gonna poach them for 5 minutes and then cool them down. All right, folks, so I got the little back fat chunks cubed up. Those look great, don't they? Creamy, pearly, white little pieces of back fat. That water there is at a simmer. Book says 90 degrees. So here we go. I'll just set a little timer so I don't forget about them. 5 minutes. I'll come pull these guys out and cool them down. Okay, guys, so I got the fat poaching. I got the liver running in water. So I got a couple minutes. I'm just going to run this all through my grinder here. So I got the lean pieces of pork just off a pork loin. I got some shoulder and fatty pork trim and stuff over here. But it's all going to end up going through a 2mm plate. So I'm just going to run it through our coarse plate here once first, and then run it through the fine plate a second time. See if I can beat the timer for the fat poaching. Get this run through twice in 5 minutes. I don't know. Here we go. First grind. All right, so there's the end of the first grind, guys. Pretty fatty mixture. And I'm just gonna fire it through again here on the fine plate. This here is my fine plate. It calls for a 2.5mm plate, or sorry, a 2mm plate. And I think this is 2.5 or 3, that's the smallest one I got, but I'm gonna run it through a blender afterwards, so that should be good enough for what we're doing. Just got this on, Timer for the fat went off, so let's pull that fat out of the poached water. Okay, there's our fat. Just gonna scoop them out of there, drain them off a bit. So I want to save the water. I want to cook that liver in the pork fat water. There's our fat chunks for the sausage. I'm just going to pop them in the cooler, let them cool down, and then we'll grind the rest of the meat. By then, the liver will have been in the cold water for pretty close to an hour. Then we'll poach it and get it rolling. All right, fat's pulled out, back to the grind. Stick it up top. It's on snug. Here we go. Next round. All right, guys, there's the last pound or so there through the finest plate. So that's kind of the last step there before we send it into the emulsification with the spices and such. But next step, I'm going to pop this in the cooler. After that, though, I'm going to pull that liver out, skin it, cut the strips off we need, poach them, and then we'll be on to the mixing stage. Okay, so there's our liver, guys. It's been soaking not quite an hour. It's more like 45 minutes, but that's okay. You can see the water in there is nice and clear now. The color has changed. You know, it was that kind of deep, dark, purpley look before, but now it's kind of a bit opaque, so it's washed a bunch of that blood out. But now we're going to kind of take some of this vein and heavy sinew and stuff out before we get it into our sausage. So let's get it over to the meat table. Okay, guys, so I got the liver here. And I'm just gonna get some nice lean pieces off of it. Don't want any sinew in there. And I need 500 grams total. So there's this big kind of piece of vein and stuff underneath that we don't want in there. We got nice kind of pieces like this. Guys, go through, make sure there's no veins. Just nick that little bit out of there. And sometimes the outside of the liver can be a little bit tough. I have more liver than I need here, so you can get just underneath, and there's that membrane that can be pulled off if you want. Sometimes you get your finger underneath it and just work it off, but I'm going to skin it a little bit here. Nice clean liver. Then we're going to cut it into strips. All right, we're going to get 500 grams worth of strips here because I'm doing a 2 kilogram batch, so it's basically going to need about a pound. Okay, so there's I got my 500 grams of liver weighed out here. So I'm going to pop it in that simmering pot. I got more liver than I need, so you could probably do that again. So this would probably be perfect for about 5 kilograms if you want to use up a whole pork liver. But I don't need to today. So we'll get that liver in the pot, simmer for 8 to 10 minutes, then cool it down. Okay, here we are again, back at the pot. Here's our liver. Pop the liver in our hot water. About 8 to 10 minutes. So I'll set a timer for 10 minutes, come back, cool it down, run it through the grinder. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our 8 to 10 minutes has gone by. 10 minutes, my timer just went off. There's our poached liver. There's our poached liver pieces there, looking yummy. I'm just going to take them and run them under cold water for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to pop them into our grinder, grind them through the fine plate because liver grinds up really easily, especially once it's cooked. There we go. There's our ground liver chunks into some cold water for about 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes of this. Nice cold water. All right. Nice cool liver. All right, guys, I got a little blender set up because we're gonna emulsify this in the next step. I could use my bowl cutter behind me, but I thought if we're doing home production of quality meats and sausage, there's a better chance that all you guys are gonna have little blenders instead of bowl cutters. But first step here, I'm just gonna run the liver through the fine plate. Now in the book it says to grind liver through fine plate and emulsify and then do the same with the pork afterwards, but it's all gonna get emulsified together. So I'm just gonna do it all in one step. This sausage is going to be good. It's not going to be overpowering with liver because liver only makes up about 25% of this sausage. So it's a good intro to liver sausages. If you guys butchered a whole pig and you got some organs to use up, this is a great sausage to make sure you're utilizing the whole animal. All right, that's all our liver ground up in there, guys. So now we're gonna chunk by chunk mix it in our food processor. Okay guys, here it is. I'm just gonna toss this liver around so it's nice and distributed. I don't think this little blender is gonna be able to handle all this at once, so I'm gonna do it bit by bit. And I'm gonna add a little bit of those onions here that it calls for in the recipe. Actually, I'm just gonna add them into this here now. Then we're gonna add the spices and hand mix that fat that's still sitting in the cooler afterwards. We're gonna mix that in so we got visible little chunks of fat in our spreadable pate. But here we go. I'm gonna do one clean hand, one dirty hand. Put in a little handful, see how she goes. Let her go for a couple minutes till you get a nice smooth paste. I'm not so concerned about the temperature on this because we're gonna cook it right after, so. All right. When all the particles all start to kind of look like one texture there, that's probably good enough. And we'll scoop out the other little bits in here. And I'm going to repeat this process again and again and again until all this is over here. You guys don't have to watch that though. All right. There we go. It didn't work too bad there, guys. Kind of about half hour or so it took me to get this here. Nice emulsified mixture. All right, the last of the paste coming out of the little food processor. The food processor worked better than I had anticipated. I thought I'd be here all day, but and it would cap the little electric motor out, but nope, just a little handful at a time. Let her spin. Worked real good. So I'm gonna get this out of here. Now I'm gonna add our spices in, guys. The onions got chopped up with this, and we got real good protein extraction. This is a nice mixed, fat, sticky mixture. All right. Okay, there it is. Now, lastly, let's add our spices, and then we're gonna stuff. So the spices for this is pretty simple: salt, pepper, marjoram. Then we got the onions in there, a little bit in there, 2 kg batch. And this is gonna be real mixed, real sticky to mix. No water added to this, guys, because there's quite a bit of fat in it. So, all right, let that mix around, basically, so the spices are distributed and. Whew, sticky. Oh, that smells like liver pate now. I could just about eat. Oh man, that smells really good. I really like liver pate a couple times a year on some toast and crackers, and this smells awesome. Okay, this stuff, pulling my gloves off here, guys. Got them mixed in nice and good, I think. We're not gonna hit any pockets of salt. So now I'll back it up and we'll get it in the stuffer. All right, guys, we got it loaded into the sausage stuffer. Now it says stuff loosely into pork bungs, pork middles, or synthetic cellulose casings. I got some fibrous casings, which I'm gonna use here today, guys. They are the 65 millimeters though. So I just popped them into water there just a little bit ago. They don't need to soak very long. Sleeve it on the horn. Get the meat against the plunger against the meat. Now we're going to loosely stuff these because we're going to tie them off into little mini sections. We want to make sure we get the air pockets out though. Stuff them pretty loose. All right, I'm going to leave myself a fair bit at the end here. Usually I leave myself just an inch or so, but I'll show you what we're going to do with them. So we're going to take them. I'm going to do a couple 100-gram portions here every so often. So just massage it down the sausage casing and twist. And then I just take a piece of butcher's twine and give it a double knot there so that as it cooks, when it expands, it doesn't untwist itself. You just have a giant log. So I can get about 4 of those out of this guy. Twist. Tie it. Something like that. Spin it around. I'm going to tie this end one because that's just about full enough that it wants to come out. Give this a twist. You don't want to twist them so they're super tight because otherwise they might burst. They do need a little bit of room to expand inside the sausage casing when we're cooking them. So there's still a fair bit of give to them, as you can see. Still a fair bit of give, so they can cook and expand. But we'll dunk these guys in to our boiling water and cook them. All right, here's our infamous sausage cooking pot that reappears in lots of videos. And it's supposed to be 90-degree water there, so this is just under boiling. Pop them in there. I'm going to keep a close eye on them because we don't want them bursting. We don't want to get it to like a crazy rolling boil. Otherwise, they'll burst the sausage casings. But they're going to be in there for about an hour or so, or until they hit 155, 158. All right, so I've been watching this very closely, making sure it doesn't get out of control to a rolling boil. And let's probe a sausage here and see what we're at. Right in the middle. All right, so 168. So they got up there. They got above what we needed to get to. So let's pull them out of there and get them cooling down. No bursts though, so that's good. Okay guys, same treatment. I just got them in some running cold water and I'll let them cool down. And then I'm gonna smoke these guys. In the book it says there's an optional smoking step and I think that'd be pretty good. So I'm gonna take them and pop them in the smokehouse after they're cooled down a bit and just smoke them for a couple hours, and I think that'll add a lot of flavor to our liver pate. Okay guys, so here's the liver pate. We're going to add some smoke flavor to it, so it's in the smokehouse. I let it drip dry for a little bit so it's a nice little tacky on the outside. I got some hickory chips loaded into the bottom, so they're going to start rolling here soon, and we'll give it a nice smoke, pull it out, cool it down again, and then it'll be time to snack on our liver pate. Oh, right there guys, so they've been smoking for a couple hours. They've kind of taken on a bit of a darker color. There, you can see a little bit of the tinge in the casing. So I'm gonna pop them in the cooler till they're cooled down, and then we can have some liver pate later on. All right guys, it's the moment I've been waiting for in the liver pate episode. I have my toast ready to go. I got the liver sausages here out of the cooler, cooled down now, so we'll cut them down in their little sections and spread it on our toast. But before we do that, I have to fess up to something. I forgot to put our boiled bits of back fat in when I mixed it and stuffed it. Oh well. I guess that's the reason I'm a butcher, you know. I didn't go to university for a reason. So it's supposed to have little bits of back fat in it, but oh well, it's still going to be really good. I think there's still a lot of fat content in this sausage. So let's cut into our liver pate here. All right, guys, have our first look at our cross section here. There we go. That's what the inside of our liver pate looks like. Not quite spreadable. I think I got it a little bit too hot during the cooking stage. I got it up to like 165 instead of 155 there. But that's okay. Still smells delicious. The reason I say that is because I maybe rendered out just a little bit of fat during the cooking process, and maybe would have helped it be a little bit more spreadable. But all right then, let's peel this casing off and have a bite on toast. It's just about spreadable, I would say. Cut a slice off. Not quite, but well, not quite spreadable. Sliceable liver pate, I guess. Anyways, here we go. One of my favorite things. I love liver pate a couple times a year on toast. And this is one of them. That is so creamy, so good. Such a good way to use up liver. Oh, I love that. That's a really, really good recipe. That's better than my liver sausage recipe. I swear, that's good. Yum. That's one of my favorites from Marinsky March. The Landjäger, the kosher beef sausage, the Holsteiner, those were some really good ones. This one's up there. Even though I overcooked a little bit, I wish I would see if it was spreadable, if I maybe didn't cook it as much, but oh, I'm gonna eat this whole piece of toast, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'm going to make a recipe out of home production of quality meats and sausage by Adam and Stanley Marinsky every day this March. So if you haven't seen some of those episodes, guys, give them a watch. But thanks again for watching. Take care. You can't even tell there's liver in here.